Guys, you are especially welcome back. It's my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you back to this channel. If you are new to this channel, you are also welcome. And I want to especially welcome you. If you are a returning subscriber, you are especially welcome. Our last videos, the series we are on, though I have not been posting regularly for one or two reasons, but we stopped somewhere during the series. This is our deck piping, handling our conduit piping on the day. We stopped somewhere and we're supposed to continue up to part 4, 5, or 6 because we have a lot to learn in this deck piping. Remember, before we enter the deck piping, we have been handling conduit piping that has to do with the downstairs, not including the deck piping. But here we want to include the deck piping because in conduit piping we have to talk about the deck, because the deck and the multi-story building we also talk about them. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about management of the riser management, how to actually route your pipe so that you will accommodate the story building. For instance, if you want to pipe a 1-story building, 2-story building, 3-story building, how are you going to make sure that your pipe runs to each of the floors? So today we are going to look at what it will take an electrician or an electrical engineer to ensure that your piping gets to all the floors, starting from the control panel, which will be installed or which will be positioned at the first floor or the ground floor. We are going to position it at the ground floor, and from the ground floor we make sure that we install risers that will get to the first floor, the second floor, the third floor. But in this demonstration, I'm going to use only 3-story building to make this demonstration so that it will be clear to each and every one of us. So whether you are handling a 1-story building, a 2-story building, or a 3-story building, it will be accommodated in this demonstration. So now when we talk about risers in a multi-story building, we are talking about pathways through which our cable will travel from the control panel or the control unit, which will be located at the ground floor. Cable will travel through the risers, through the piping system, to all the floors, to the first floor, second, third, and up like that, up to the last floor. So in this riser system, we are going to check the number of risers that will install in that particular story. The number of pipes or risers is determined or will be determined by the number of the floors we are going to have in that story building. For instance, here I want to use a 3-story building to demonstrate to us. So we are going to check the number of risers that we'll be needing to supply the ground floor, first floor, second floor, and third floor. That will be 4 risers. So here we are going to check the number of risers we are going to use. We are going to check the number, the size or the diameter of the riser, the pipe, the conduit pipe, which will give us what we need. Whether you are going to use load cable like 16 mm or more, we are going to use that. But firstly, you need to calculate, you need to check the load of each particular floor, or the load that will be required in each particular floor. So it will help you to know the size of the pipe, and remember, the pipe should not be tight. It should be sizable enough such that there will be allowance in the pipe even when the wires or the load cables has been installed. So whether you are using the armored cable or you are using any kind of cable to install as a load cable, you make sure that all these preparations are being taken care of. So here we are going to use this demonstration. So taking a look at this sketch, here is our ground floor. Here is the first floor, second floor, third floor. And if you take a closer look, this is our DBs. There are some buildings where you may have up to 3 DBs or more than 3 DBs. But in this demonstration, I'm going to use 1 DB for each particular floor so that I don't get too confused. So here, during our piping or during the deck piping, this is the deck. This is the deck. This is the deck for this floor. This is another deck. And here is the final roof. So here, you need to check. You need to make preparation first before you start work. am I going to use the floor, the ground, or am I going to use to run this piping? I mean the load pipe, which will serve as the risers. So for these risers, firstly we're going to look at the location where you put your risers. The location where you put the risers, I am going to, in fact I'm suggesting that the risers should best be positioned close to the staircase. Let's assume here our staircase is somewhere here. This is another staircase. Don't mind my sketch. This is another staircase. This is another staircase. This is another staircase. By this, I think we've gotten to the last floor. So here is the staircase. Here is climbing. So here, if you want to run your pipe from here, the DB has already been installed, and our circuit pipe, our conduit pipe has been already been fixed or installed, connected to the DB, the consumer unit here. This one has been connected. This one has been connected through the take. So while you are running this first one, your DB should have the bigger pipe that is connected to a riser. And this riser, there will be a box here. There should be a box here. An adaptable box that will accommodate this riser. And because this building is going to be a 3-story building, one riser will take care of this. Another riser will take care of this first floor. Another riser will take care of the second floor. Another riser, the fourth one, will take care of this last floor or the third floor. That is one thing you have to bear in mind. The number of your riser and the diameter of your pipe you are using for risers. Then the second thing you should put into consideration is you should have adaptable bolts that will help you. This adaptable bolts can also be positioned here so that when your wires or your load cables are being fished into the pipe or into the piping system, it will help you to pull from short distances, so that it will not be only here. When you are pulling your pipes, when you are pulling your load cable, it will not be a difficult task for you. You know what I mean, because at this point you should have a bench here, and here you should have a bench. Then here you should have another adaptable box that is fixed here. Here you have another one, so that it will reduce the load. It will reduce the friction and the stress for you. That is number 2. The next thing you should do is to ensure that your bends are not too sharp. In fact, they are not sharp at all. If your bends are sharp, it will affect you. So make sure that your bend here is not sharp, here is not sharp, here is not sharp, here is not sharp. Likewise, the second floor and the last floor. Ensure that your bends are not sharp to help you when the cables will be fished into the system or into the electrical system. So you should take note of that. So we are going to look at, in our subsequent tutorial videos, we'll be looking at a situation where you have more than one DP at one particular floor. So that is that. You should take note of that. In our next video, we will be looking at other things that are needed, but in this particular video, I don't want this video to be long. All I want to let you know is that firstly, you should consider the load that will be required in each of the floors. You should consider the load that will be required in each of the floors. Let me not take you too far into the equations that you need. All of us everybody here, you know that there are some equations that are needed in the calculation of the load. You can add all that are needed. You check your gadgets that are needed in each of the floors. You check their ratings in order to get the total voltage or the total load that is required in each of the floors. That is another thing. So you be able to know that here you have 4 risers. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the risers will take care of the ground floor, the other one, the second one will take care of this, the third one will take care of this, and the fourth one will take care of these 3 risers. The pipe that you'll be using, let's assume that you are using PVC pipe. Your PVC pipe should be big enough to accommodate the size of the cable that will be installed into this. And remember that you will have your 3 phase, 1 neutral, and your earth, the earthing system. So you should be able to accommodate up to 5 load cable, 5 cables. Yes, the 3 phase and 1 neutral, including your earth cable. So here you should also have adaptable buses that will help you to install your cable during your wiring, during the drawing or the fishing of your cable. Then lastly, you need to make sure that your bends are not sharp. Make sure your bends are not sharp. Continuing with this, I want to remind us that before we talk about other parts, you will agree with me that during the casting of this dig, this is the first dig you will cast. For instance, during the casting of this dig, the first dig, that is the time you make preparation for this. When you must have finished all your conduit piping system here, you make sure that the load cable is also installed for the casting of the dig, and you take care of this. So talking about the risers, here this one will be connected, 5 other ones will rise. 1, 2, 3. If you go back to the video I just showed you, you will agree with me that here we have risers that are already connected, and the risers, I think they are 3 in number or 4 in number, telling us that this is a 3-story building or a 4-story building because the ground floor has been connected and this bay has been cast already. So if you have any question, if you have something that is confusing you, I would like you to share with us or ask your question. Drop your comments at the comment section below. Thank you for watching our videos. Make sure you drop your comments and your questions. I will take time to answer all of them. Then the remaining things we are going to continue in our subsequent videos.